Positive perspectives on aging. At Sylvie's fundraiser for Together Women Rise recently, I was one among 120 senior women. I didn't know anyone there except Michael and Sylvie. I became very aware of the phenomena of being an old woman. But I was able to step back and observe the women so much enjoying socializing with each other. It was the largest gathering of seniors I'd ever been in. But what is our attitude toward aging? We become aware of our aging through some negative change in our health, energy level, or attractiveness. As we may be living with physical or emotional pain, it will certainly affect our sense of self. We can confront, avoid, deny, or accept our aging. There are many factors which affect our attitudes toward being seniors. I tend to avoid the term elderly, as for me that implies being feeble and independent. So, according to the power of positive thinking, becoming a senior brings us a new lifestyle, new opportunities in life. But whether we enjoy our senior years or not depends a lot on our circumstances. Cassandra shared with us that long ago she decided to be happy. Let's explore how we can be both happy and smart on how we handle the aging process. From the book, The Wisdom of Maury, let us think of ourselves as a select group to which the price of admission is a minimum of 60 years of accumulated knowledge, caring, and wisdom. Remember the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. According to Sonia's brother, Lionel, who founded the Happiness Club, happiness is an inner state of well-being that enables you to profit from your highest thoughts, intelligence, wisdom, awareness, common sense, emotions, health, and spiritual values. I think our attitude toward aging is certainly connected to happiness. And because of the many challenges aging brings, we may need to find or develop new sources of happiness. Sonia included in one of her sermons the value of feeling gratitude. One of my friends, who is now 82, often expresses her gratitude for her health, her friendships, her control over her life, etc. She calls her approach to life as practicing gratitude. And Lisa Thomas shared with me that expressing gratitude silently or verbally is very much a part of her philosophy of life. My philosophy takes the shape of the power of positive thinking. Happiness and self-esteem come from continued involvement in activities which are meaningful to us. Arlene Scala expresses herself through writing. Cassandra, Judy Bellini, and Debbie enjoy their artwork. As retirees, we have the time and thus opportunity to be generous with our time, friendship, energy, and hopefully money. Debbie Link sent me recently a guide for planning for senior years, which she and several friends cleverly put together. We have the expression, we are as others see us. Although others may see us as old people, we don't think of ourselves as being in that category. We're just the same person we've always been. But then there's the reality check. How do we present ourselves to others? What image do we have of ourselves as seniors? We may be engaged in a relatively comfortable aging process or a difficult one. A friend commented, having gray hair is like being invisible. Once I colored it, I was somebody again. Most women use costume jewelry and scarves to present themselves socially. I usually wear lipstick when I go out because it makes me feel better about myself and maybe a little younger looking. According to the power of positive thinking, older age is a time of transition to the new and unexpected. Each day brings new possibilities and opportunities for relationships, thoughts, feelings, experiences, understandings, and discoveries. We need to be aware that we are transitioning from adulthood to later adulthood, a different stage of life. And the recent Bergen County Festival for Seniors was geared to those in later adulthood who may need a wide range of special services. What do we want to let go of? And what do we want to keep of our previous lifestyles? We need to evaluate and calculate what is worth doing and what isn't, according to our values, needs, beliefs, and obligations. To discover our authentic selves at this stage of life, we need to integrate the pieces of our life story to align our inner and outer selves. We need to make more time for being after so many years of doing. But I admit that I fall short of putting this philosophy into practice. As an ESL teacher, I was and still am guided by our Unitarian principles: justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. The goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. And of course, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. It's just natural for me to be drawn to immigrants as they have special needs. So do I. I need to keep teaching ESL in order to feel that I still have something to offer to others. Being alone and feeling lonely are quite different. As 8 of my immediate family members live abroad, I feel lonely on holidays and birthdays. As I feel guilty having just for myself a 4-bedroom house. Over the years, immigrants from Vietnam, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and many from China have shared my space and helped me manage the care of my house, lawn, and garden. And being able to provide housing for those in need added meaning to my life. And I never felt lonely. Reflecting on those years of togetherness with my assorted housemates brings up a lot of good memories. By constructing a picture of our lifespans that encompasses the important events in our lives, we should be able to find connectedness, meaning, and unity in our lives. It's those old photos in our albums, not the recent ones on our phones, which help us reflect on how we've spent our lives. The mere fact that we've made it to our senior years means we've done a lot of living. Life review is a time of reflection upon the failures and successes of our lives. What do we hope will live on of ourselves in our children, grandchildren, students, and others whose lives we may have affected? But we need to balance living in the past, the present, and the future. Buddhist teaching stresses living fully in the present, in each moment. As I reflect on my nearly 85 years, I have few regrets on how I've used my 31,000 days. But if we view ourselves as unfinished, it means we're evolving all the time. So we should take opportunities to grow as they present themselves. We have the need for validation, to be positively regarded by those people who are important to us, to be valued members of some groups and communities. It's hard to let go of self-importance. Figuring out how to age well is a precondition to continuing to realize our fullest potential. Our later years may be a time when we wish to redefine or reconstruct our identities as we see ourselves and how we see others. As we age, we may need to find new sources of fulfillment and joy when jobs, careers, and family no longer dictate how our time is spent and give shape to our identities. Thinking again of Devi's sermon on creativity, I find satisfaction in setting up exhibits in various libraries and creating and presenting PowerPoints for the Institute for New Dimensions, which is dedicated to continued learning for retirees. China has traditionally revered the aged for their wisdom accumulated over the years. The University of the Aged in Wuhan is part of a network of more than 800 such institutions for the elderly in China. With my white hair and wrinkles, being a teacher and a foreigner, I enjoyed being respected in China. And when children, prodded by their mothers to practice their English with the foreigner, asked me, "How old you?" And I answered, 100. They were astonished, but their mother's smiles made them realize I was just having fun with them. Everybody needs help or support at times. And as we age, carving out that support system is essential. So we need to ponder who among our family members, neighbors, and friends are available to help us and in which ways. Also, in which ways can we be helpful to others who are aging? We need social we need social interaction with our friends in UUCP and in other organizations. With so much interaction being online, I really value the programs at the Tenafly Senior Center. After retirement, during our senior years, we have the opportunity to make new friends, as well as strengthen our valued friendships. We need each other physically, socially, emotionally, and spiritually. As we age, we need to think seriously about our concept of home. Michael and Sylvie are happy in their over 65 community. Mickey is pondering how to screen someone to live with her in her home. As I've mentioned, immigrants lived with me rent-free for many years. An American woman, 18 years younger than I am, moved in with me recently. Many seniors move close to or move in with their adult children to help with their grandchildren. As mine live in the Czech Republic, Australia, and France, I'm not considering moving. My son in New Jersey helps me maintain my lifestyle by being a helpful family member whom I can always count on. And I'm very fortunate in that I have an informal family who greatly enriched my life. Two young women from China lived at different times in my home while they attended college. As young adults now, they live nearby, and as their parents live in China, I'm their Aunt Judy, and they are the daughters I long to have. As we age, medical conditions not only develop, but greatly impact on us. They can constrain our lifestyles and shape our senior years. Lisa Hockman called me the other day and shared her smorgasbord of interacting medical conditions. Then she mentioned the term ageism, which was new to me. So she sent me some references from which I learned that ageism is a stigmatizing prejudice that denigrates older people, discriminates against us, and reduces our opportunity to lead satisfying and worthwhile lives. Many physicians, as well as we older adults, believe pain, fatigue, depression, and dependency are normal parts of aging. Conditions like chronic pain or arthritis are often dismissed as just part of old age. There's gender and racial discrimination in healthcare, particularly of the elderly. We must be aware of that in order not to be victims of that attitude. We need to find meaning in what we are doing. What motivates us to volunteer, to be active in community service of one kind or another? What are the rewards in addition to personal satisfaction? We need to keep using our talents and apply what we have learned from our life experiences. In keeping with his many years of social justice activism, Al Ostrowski, at 93, recently gave us a sermon on the origins of racism in the U.S. We want to keep control of our lives. We want to make our own decisions, to be mobile rather than depend on others. Basically, to remain mentally, emotionally, and physically independent. But some people prefer to spend a lot of time alone, reading, watching TV, or taking meditative walks. Preferring to be alone and experiencing loneliness are quite different. Some of you get satisfaction and perspective on your lives from meditating with Sonia or on your own. I don't meditate, but at the end of each day, as I rest my head on my pillow, I reflect and evaluate how I spent my day. I prefer to be physically and socially active, thinking the day will come when I'll no longer have that choice. Which circumstances or conditions shape or dominate your retirement lifestyle? These thoughts are borrowed or stolen from UU minister Reverend Brower. Spiritual experiences are those events in life which attune us to that vital force within, which gives us greater meaning and depth to our day-to-day living. For some of us, the search of our spiritual base to our lives may be lifelong. My spiritual foundation is the Christianity which gradually unfolded in a Presbyterian Sunday school as I grew up. In college, I encountered Baha'i, and for 3 years in New York City, tried to become a Baha'i. But I admit that the Baha'i belief in God was just too strong for me. So eventually in New Jersey, I discovered Unitarianism. I'm comfortable in Unitarianism because of its humanistic foundation. Our Unitarian 7 principles serve as a guidance for how to live our lives. But the Unitarian Creed offers no specific suggestions as to how to prepare for our deaths. As we age, we lose our friends, spouses, and other family members, and may have to learn to navigate the world alone. We may be confronted with pain, loneliness, and economic stress. We might even become dependent on caregivers. As time passes, we become aware that the end of our lives is something that we should prepare for. As Unitarianism is a non-creedal religion, I've decided to seek guidance for my death in an unusual direction. As a college student in Mexico, I learned of the joyous celebration of the Day of the Dead, which dates back to the Aztecs. Since the Spanish conquest, it's been celebrated on All Saints and All Souls Day on November 1st and 2nd. So I'm going to celebrate my 85th birthday on October 29th in Oaxaca, so that when my end of lifetime comes, I'll remember the fun I had eating sugar skulls and wearing a skeleton mask on the Day of the Dead in Mexico. Let's use our precious senior years in the service of those still alive but less fortunate. As Sonia shared with us, as you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands, one for helping yourself and the other for helping others. Let's enjoy art, music, friendship, and nature. Let's practice gratitude and conscientious, wise aging. And let's remember what an Australian Aboriginal man said to Pipa. What kind of ancestor do you want to be? Thank you.
If you like this video, please like us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click on the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. Thank you.